Hello everyone. So today we'll be taking up the daily quiz for the date 3rd for the date 3rd April 2024. So today we had very good articles, mainly the editorials were extremely good in the Hindu newspaper. So based on that we'll be taking up the question. So we had a very good article regarding the GST. So based on that we'll be taking up the first question of the day. Consider the following statement regarding GST. GST is your goods and services tax. Okay. So statement 1. The goods and services taxes subsumed various indirect taxes levied by the central and state government. Is it true? So did the GST subsume the indirect taxes levied by union and state government? What do you think? That's the reason why GST was introduced. So because earlier, before GST, so there were multiple taxes that was put on various commodities, both by state government and central government. So as a reason, the cost of the product was different in different states. Say for example, this is a product. So in order to for this product, Karnataka government would impose a separate tax, and Tamil Nadu government would impose a separate tax. Union government had a different indirect tax. But what did your GST do? So your GST subsumed all these indirect taxes. Say some of the indirect taxes were subsumed, barring few. Say on liquor, on petroleum, etc. Barring few, most of the indirect taxes was subsumed into one tax. So that is called as your GST. So statement 1 is absolutely right. So statement 2, GST is a source-based tax, meaning the tax is levied on the production point. So what do you mean by source-based tax? Source-based tax in the sense, say the tax is levied at the point of production. Say for example, if this phone is being produced in Karnataka and it is being sold in Tamil Nadu, will the GST be levied in Karnataka, or the GST will be levied in Tamil Nadu? So what do you think? So GST is a destination based tax. Even though, assuming that if this phone is manufactured in Karnataka and if it is sold in Tamil Nadu, GST would be levied in Tamil Nadu. That is, it is a destination based tax. Wherever the product is sold, or say that destination, in that destination the tax will be levied, not at the source point. So GST is not a source based tax. So again here statement 2 is wrong. So what about statement 3? So statement 3, GST Council is the highest decision making body regarding the GST in India. Is it true? Is this GST Council the highest decision making body in the GST? So in the GST setup. So what do you think? Yes, indeed, GST Council is the ultimate authority to make any changes regarding any tax slab, etc. in the GST. So the article 279A empowers the GST Council to take all the important decisions regarding GST. So again, GST Council that is the highest decision making body. And who is the head? Who will be heading the GST Council? It will be your finance minister of the union government. So again here statement 1 and statement 3 are absolutely right. So the answer has to be B. So B is the answer. Fine. So we will go to the next topic. So that is the next question, and the next question is regarding the one important article that was there in today's newspaper. That was regarding the climate issues, and it mainly revolved around a report, that is your State of Global Climate Report. So based on this topic, we'll be taking up the question. So State of Global Climate Report. So based on that, so question number 2. So statement 1, the State of Global Climate Report is prepared jointly by UNEP and IPCC. So what do you think? Is the State of Global Climate Report prepared by UNEP and IPCC jointly, or does any other organization prepares this State of Global Climate Report? And again here guys, from UPSC perspective, a lot of questions have been asked on report. Say which organization prepares which report, that list you should have if you're giving prelims. So again here, does UNEP and IPCC jointly prepare the State of Global Climate Report? What do you think? No. State of Global Climate Report is prepared by the World Meteorological Organization, not by UNEP and IPCC. It is prepared by WMO, that is your World Meteorological Organization. So statement one is wrong. So if statement 1 is wrong, we already directly we directly get the answer. The answer is D. But however, we'll see the statement 2. It assesses in the sense, the state of global climate report assesses the current state of climate system and provides insight into climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. What do you think? So is the second statement right? Does the report provide about the current situation regarding the climate change and climate system, and does the report emphasize on the climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts? Yes, this statement is absolutely right. So that's what your state of global climate report emphasizes on. So what is the current status about the climate change? What are the measures that has to be taken to overcome these changes? That is given in the report. So statement 2 is right. So statement 2 is right and statement 1 is wrong. So the answer is D. So D is the answer. But however, we'll slightly go in detail regarding this state of global climate report 2023. So again here, I'll just briefly summarize this. So the entire report is summarized into this table. What does this report indicate? It indicated that the global temperature is warmest since the industrial revolution. Since 1850s, this is the warmest year. That is the warmest year recorded. That is 1.45 degrees Celsius above average. And again here, greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere, it is record high. Never it has been recorded so high. So this year, that is it is the highest point. Again, ocean heat content in the sense, the amount of heat energy absorbed and stored by the Earth's ocean, that is called as your ocean heat content, and even that is record high. Never it has been so high. Even the ocean heat content is high. Sea level rise is one of the highest since humanity started recording the sea level. And again, Antarctic sea ice is one of the lowest in the sense, the size is very small compared to the previous records. So again here, records low. Glacial retreat in a sense, melting of glacier. So even the melting of glacier, the rate of melting of glacier is also highest, that is faster on record. The rate of melting of glacier is also one of the highest. And again, extreme events, that is the increased frequency of extreme events like heat waves, floods, droughts, etc. this has increased. So this is the summary that was highlighted in this report. That is your state of global climate report 2023. Fine. So now we'll go to the next topic of the day, and the next topic of the day is based on one important article, that is India risking demographic dividend. And this World Bank says that India has a lot of unemployment, and because of that we may not be able to reap the benefits of demographic dividend. So then what is this demographic dividend? So based on that, we'll be taking up the question. So question number 3, that is statement 1, the demographic dividend refers to the economic benefits a country gains from the large working age population. So is it true? Statement 1, is it true? That is, demographic dividend refers to the economic benefits a country gains from having a large working age population. What do you think? So is this the meaning of demographic dividend? Yes, in fact that statement represents the demographic dividend. So demographic dividend means it is a phase in the economic growth where the economic growth occurs due to the changes in the population structure. In the sense, when the working age population is more compared to the dependent population, compared to the non-working age population. Non-working age population are your kids, say 0 to 15, or say elderly people who are not in the working age population. So when the working age population is more, and because of this, if there is any increased economic activity, that period is called as your demographic dividend. So demographic dividend refers to the economic benefits a country gains from having the large working age population. So statement 1 is absolutely right. So what about statement 2? A country with high dependency ratio is likely to experience demographic dividend. Is it true? a country with high dependency ratio. By the way, what is dependency ratio? So dependency ratio means, so the equation is number of dependent population. Who are dependent population? Say that is your 0 to 15, the kids and the elderly people. They are dependent because they cannot be earning, they cannot go to the work, they are dependent. So dependent population divided by the non-dependent, or say the people who are working age group. So this is the equation of dependency ratio. So if you have to have demographic dividend, what is the criteria? You should have large that is working age group. So again here, so if the denominator increases, that is the population between say 15 to 64, they are the working age group. In order to have demographic dividend, we should have large working age group. If the denominator increases, what would happen? The dependency ratio will come down. In a demographic dividend phase, the dependency ratio is less, not high. If it is high, it means that the dependent population are more. That is, there are more number of children and more number of elderly people in the population group compared to the working age group. If you have to have demographic dividend, you should have less dependency ratio. So if you consider, say, there are so many articles which says that India is in a demographic dividend phase. It means that the working age population, see in this image, if you see here, say now it's say 2024, so it's somewhere here. So almost say somewhere around 64 to 65% people are in the working age group, and say somewhere around 25% of India's population, and say somewhere around 10% of India's population are not in the working age group. So roughly around 65% of Indian population are in the working age group. Around say 35% of the people are not in the working age group. It means that the working age population is more compared to the non-working age group. That's the reason why India is in a demographic dividend phase. So again here, if you have to be if you should have a demographic dividend, then the dependency ratio should be low. Fine. So this statement is wrong. So if this statement is wrong, the answer has to be C. C is the answer. Fine. Okay. So next question is very important, but it's easy as such. Say somewhere around 5 to 6 times UPSC has asked the same question on Israel. That is the geographical location of Israel. So it has become very common. So the map locations around Mediterranean Sea is extreme. Okay, fine. I told the answer, but however, so the locations around Israel and Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, these are like super important from UPSC perspective. So based on that, and there was one editorial on Israel, so based on that we'll be taking up the question. Which of the following bodies of water, which of the bodies of water borders Israel to the west? So which is that water body that borders Israel to its west? So that is your Mediterranean Sea. So again, if you see the map, so this is your Israel and this is your Mediterranean Sea, and Israel also borders with Dead Sea. Israel also borders with Gulf of Aqaba, and say this is your Israel. Via Gulf of Aqaba, this is your Gulf of Aqaba, via Gulf of Aqaba, Israel can also enter your Red Sea and then your Arabian Sea. So again, Israel borders your Mediterranean Sea, Dead Sea and your Gulf of Aqaba. So fine. So this is the answer has to be A. Fine. Okay, so now we'll go to the PYQ, and this PYQ was from the year 2018. So 2018. So how is the NGT, that is your National Green Tribunal, different from CPCB? So that is the question. How is NGT different from CPCB? So statement 1, NGT is established by an act, whereas CPCB is created by an executive order of the government. So what is the body that that's created under executive order? Executive order, in a sense, just through one government notification, one new agency is created, or say one new entity is created. So those are called as your executive body. Say for example, your law commission. So it's an executive body, or say Niti Aayog. So there was no law passed to establish Niti Aayog. It was just one government notification. Through that, one body was launched, or say one body is established. So those kind of bodies are called as executive bodies. So again here, so NGT is established by an act, whereas CPCB is established by an executive order. Is it true? Is CPCB established by an executive order? What do you think? No, CPCB is not established by an executive order. So in fact, CPCB is also a statutory body. NGT is also a statutory body. That is, NGT is established under the NGT Act 2010, and your CPCB is also a statutory body. That is, CPCB is established under the Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. So even CPCB is also established under your Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Say for example, your SPCB is your State Pollution Control Board. Even that is also a statutory body established under the same act. So again here CPCB is a statutory body, not an executive body. So statement 1 is wrong. So what about statement 2? NGT provides environmental justice and helps to reduce the burden of litigation in the higher court, whereas CPCB promotes cleanliness of streams, wells, and aims to improve the quality of air in the country. So what do you think? Yes, NGT is a quasi-judicial body. So what does your NGT do? It's a quasi-judicial body. It takes up the cases that are regarding the environmental conservation. Rather than the case going to the district court, high court, etc., the case goes to the NGT, and NGT will decide that case. So as a reason, what will happen? It will reduce the burden of litigation on the higher courts. So if there's any environmental cases, say for example, whether the trees has to be, whether there has to be a deforestation, or whether there has to be construction of dam that would affect the environment, etc. Rather, if that is the case, rather than going to the judiciary, this case can go to the NGT, and NGT is a tribunal. It's a quasi-judicial body, so it will take up the decision, lowering the burden on the judiciary or the higher courts. And CPCB promotes the cleanliness of streams, wells, and aims to improve the quality of air. Yeah, that's the ultimate aim of CPCB. That's the reason why CPCB is established, in order to promote cleanliness of streams, wells, that is your water, cleaning, that is maintaining the good standard of water, and as well as improving the quality of air. So CPCB deals with maintaining good water quality as well as air quality again. So statement 2 is right, statement 1 is wrong. So the answer has to be B. B is the answer. Fine. So now we'll be taking up the fact of the day. So fact of the day is food security. You would have heard about food security a lot of times. So what is the actual definition of food security? So what do you mean by food security? So the actual definition of food security is that when all the people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food that meets the dietary need and food preference of an active, healthy life. That is, this is the definition of food security as per the 1996 World Food Summit. So again, in simple language, if you have to consider what is food security, when all the people at all the times have access to the food, have access to the food at all the times, which could be assimilated in the sense which could be consumed and the body could assimilate in such a way that they maintain the healthy and active lifestyle. So that concept is called as food security. That is, when all the people at all the times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets the dietary needs and foods preferences for an active, healthy individual. So this is the definition of food security. But however, under food security, there are broadly 4 pillars in the food security. So what are the 4 pillars in the food security? So the first one is availability. So food security means the first one is food availability has to be there. That is, people should have access to food. That is available to, there has to be food availability, that the food grains should be available for the people. So that is the first aspect. And the second aspect is food access. That is, people should have access to it. If there is a food grain and if people are not able to access it, in the sense because of poverty, if people may not be able to access it, because of some war, people may not be able to access it. So again, under food security, food should be available, and this food has to be accessible to the people. And the last one is food has to be utilized. Food utilization in the sense assimilation. That is, the food, whatever the food we consume, that has to be assimilated by the body so that it helps in meeting the nutritional requirement. It is not that I can have any kind of food. I should have adequate, appropriate food that can be assimilated by my body so that I can meet the nutritional requirement. So there are three broad aspects here. One is food availability should be there, food accessibility should be there, and the food utilization or the food assimilation should happen. And these are the three important pillars. And the last one is stability of the above three dimension. That is, the food availability, food accessibility, and food assimilation should be there at all the times. That is stability of above three dimensions over time. That is, at all the times when these three criteria are met, that situation is called as a food security. Did you guys get it? So in simple language, when you're writing in a GS answer, we can write it as 3 A's at all time. 3 A's at all, at all time. So that is the definition of food security. What is 3A? That is availability, affordability, and assimilation of food at all the times. So that is called as your food security. Is it clear? So this is the definition of broad dimensions of your food security. And whenever you're writing any GS3 answers, you can use this definition. So food availability, accessibility, and food utilization at all the times. There has to be stability of all the above three dimensions. That is called as your food security. Fine. So that was the end of today's class. So then, thank you guys.